Ufuk, a derby loss is never good to take, but what do you take from that game?
Yeah, look, I think there's a lot of learnings from that game. I think one thing we didn't do is capitalise on the opposition's mistakes that they made, and one obviously error that we made, they capitalised from that. I thought, especially in the second half, we pinned them in at times. I think we were getting the ascendancy to actually get a goal. But it's just one of those games where, errors sometimes decide the game, and they capitalise on that error.
Were those defenders a bit upset about it, or did you have to pick them up a little?
Yeah, you'll see probably in the All Access that I try to pick them up after the game and keep their heads up. Sometimes, we talk with the boys that we can play out of our skin and still lose games for whatever reason. So as long as they focus on the performance and how we want to play and how we want to do things, I'm sure 8 times out of 10 we'll win games.
It's been 2 games now, but for you starting to see the building blocks in place that you want to put in, you starting to see the players get to grips with your methods and the way that you want to play?
Yeah, you could see it obviously in Adelaide, and then you could see it against Wanderers as well. We want to play, a high pressing game and try to dominate teams without the ball as well, and put them under a lot of pressure and a lot of maximum pressure, and obviously there's moments where we're improving with the ball and players understanding their roles and their movements within the team. So it's coming, it's not going to happen overnight, but we're working towards something, and I think we're definitely building.
Realistically, in that game you said it was about moments, and as you said, that's football. What did you see that you want to see, or what didn't you see in that game that you want to see in this game against Perth? Obviously, apart from the obvious of the find at the back of the net, what did you see that you want to see this weekend?
Well, the first thing was, I think we started the game a little bit timid. I don't understand why. I don't think we should be timid against anybody. We respect the opponent, but we fear nobody in that sense. And I think once the game settled, and especially in the second half, we started to really take ownership of the game and started to dominate in the press as well, and create opportunities like that. So one thing we need to do is obviously get fitter and stronger to be able to play the way that we want to play, and that's something that we're working on with the boys as well in that sense, so they can maintain that high intensity within the game with the trainings that we're doing. And obviously there's moments where we can be a lot better, and we want players in certain areas to score goals, and that's something that we continue to work on.
A few of those chances fell to Jaden Kucharski, but before people put 2 and 2 together, he's out because he's injured this week?
Yeah, he's got a tight hamstring, so we won't risk him for this weekend. I think he's a young player, but I think he's a valuable player for us as well in the way that we want to play. And it's one of those ones we make the decision, and when injuries arise with players, opportunities open up for other players.
You seem to have put faith in him straight away. Do you rate him that highly, even though he did miss a couple of chances?
Yeah, look, the main thing is he's in those positions, and that's something that we can improve and work on. The composure in front of goal, which he did show against Adelaide, and maybe the derby, and a young player, playing in a massive game. But we need to expose them to those moments. They need to play more often in those moments, so they can, get used to it and be better at it. So I think we've got some very experienced senior players and some very young talent coming through as well.
It's always difficult to compare 2 games so far, but did you feel as though the service was there for Fabio leading the line that last game against Wanderers? Yeah, look, at times probably he didn't get the balls that he possibly wanted delivered in the box, because he does love balls in the box, and he's good in the air as well, Fabio. But at the same time, when I look at players, when things are not going your way and you're not getting the balls that are required, I think you still are required to do the basics, which is sometimes, hold the ball up, bring players into the game with the pressing, because it's not always going to be 100% everything that you do within the game. But I think there's certain basics that players need to bring, regardless whether they're having a good game or a bad game. And our decisions of substitutions are not made because a player is having a good game or a bad game. It's because we want to play a high intensity game, and we want players to go flat out. And if they die after 60 minutes, we need to make a change, and the next player comes on fresh and does the same thing. So the reality is, at times he's not going to get the service for whatever reason, obviously because the opposition does their homework on us as well, and stops that from happening. But for me, there's certain elements that the players still need to bring to the game.
Ufuk, what are you looking to build on from last week's loss? You've got Glory on the weekend. What do you work on this week to really come away with that win from home?
Well, one thing that we're working on is still the conditioning side of things with the players. We're working them hard in that sense to be able to press teams and press high. and understand that when we do press teams that there will be long balls and how we deal with the long balls and the second phase within the game, and obviously we need to be a lot better with the ball and pick the moments and when we can play through and when we can go over the top and find those spaces to play. But look, it's building. You can see there's certain elements to it and the intent is there, and I think if we start to fine-tune things, we're only going to get better.
Perth have had their struggles on the road, but Sydney hasn't been 100% at home either, so it's a good opportunity, would you say?
Yeah, I think it's a great opportunity. We need to win our home games. I don't know what the story is previously at our stadium, but we need to turn our home into a fortress. We need to win every home game that we play, and teams need to fear coming to play us away.